Okay, so even though I just spent all this time talking about Superman first, he's really just a plot device for Batman's story and arc. Batman is the actual star of this movie. I mean, he's the first freaking character we see. Affleck does a great job with the character. It's just that seeing Batman with all this paranoia and killing people left and right feels a little out of character without the proper context. But before you get into it, yes, I know other Batmen have killed, but we just had a whole series that established the character's no-killing policy. So if this new Batman isn't following that, then we should know why. Especially when they imply that he was different before. Everyone assumes it's because apparently Robin maybe got killed by the Joker, but you know what? Instead of making people theorize and assume shit through background imagery and expository dialogue, why not show us? This is a fucking movie. I'm not saying it's bad to be subtle, but this is a new Batman. It would help if in his introduction we get to know the new him. And we don't need an entire prequel film to do that. Seriously, it wouldn't take more than maybe 6 minutes. Look, I'll fix this right now. So the movie opens with the death of Batman's parents. Again, how about instead of showing us the same old shit, you show us what made Batman give up? Don't show us old Batman's origin story, show us new and changed Batman's origin story. Why is Batman more violent? Why is he willing to use guns? Show us what we actually don't know about in this movie. Just do this. Hard cut with Batman in some big action chase scene going after the Joker who's kidnapped Robin. Show him using non-lethal means to take down enemies and establish that this Batman is a bit more merciful and doesn't kill. I mean, despite the fact that apparently Robin's weapon of choice is a fucking halberd? What the shit? Okay, let's pretend that's just a regular bow staff, okay? Alright, anyway, meanwhile, Joker's being a sick fuck and he has an exchange with Robin like, "Oh, I'm finally gonna break the bat." And then Robin says, "He'll never stop coming for you." And then Joker stabs Robin or grabs a crowbar if we really want to drive home a comic reference, and cut to Batman rushing in to see Robin's lifeless body. Insert iconic comic panel here, cut to black, Batman v Superman. There's your opening scene. Now we know what happened to Robin, we know what happened to Batman, and we get to see how diabolical the Joker is. And since this is when Batman starts his little inner monologue, we can throw in some stuff about how he should have stopped the Joker instead of always letting him go, and then lead into his little rant about Superman. Now, let me also briefly bring up that halberd again, because what the fuck? If they were seriously going around killing the shit out of bad guys, how the hell did the Joker survive? Okay, anyway, after the opening, continue into the fight scene in Metropolis, have Batfleck call up that guy in the building and inform him of the rampant destruction clearly going on outside.
Let's go, come on, start moving now, people, let's go.
And then have him find that dude dead in the rubble and have him holding the guy, looking up in anger in a similar pose to the previous scene where we saw him holding Robin. Shit, since Snyder likes killing off beloved comic book characters, why not even make that guy he holds Lucius Fox for added effect? Now Batman's like,
"Oh God, it's happening again. I cannot let this happen anymore. I will stop him."
Basically, we're trying to connect that Superman is the Joker in Batman's eyes. Boom, first 10 to 15 minutes and we fully understand Batman's mindset and can even empathize with him. But just to compare, what actually happened is we see Batman's parents die and he falls into a bat cave with bats that lift him out as he makes a Christ pose?
In the dream, they took me to the light.
Oh, okay, it was a dream sequence. Okay. I guess you could say my idea for the opening becomes a little too on the nose, but come on. You think Snyder isn't on the nose? I mean, besides the fact that he's given us this fucking shit in Man of Steel? Besides, Snyder's still being pretty on the nose with Batman. Batman's coddling a child who's just lost her parents thanks to Superman's actions.
You know what? We're gonna find your mom.
Where is she?
Mirroring what the Crook did to Batman's parents. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's not as impactful because that's referencing old Batman's pain. And besides, why waste an opportunity to show us something new? That's what this whole universe wants to fucking be. It wants to be something new and something different. And then what does it fucking do? None of that shit. And, I have a few other issues with Batman's paranoia, but we'll save that for later. Next, let's talk about our story's villain. Man, is Lex annoying. Jesse Eisenberg and Snyder decided the character needed to be an even bigger eccentric weasel than the Donnerverse version.
How do you choose to congratulate the greatest criminal mind of our time? Huh? You tell me that I'm brilliant? Oh, no. That would be too obvious. I grant you. Charismatic. Fiendishly gifted.
Try twisted.
And knowledge is power. And I am... no, what am I? What was I saying?
Neanderthal. Nincompoop. Nitwit.
Eisenberg's performance is so grating that I couldn't stand to listen to him after his third rant about gods or power or some stupid shit.
We know better now, don't we? The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
I figured out way back. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. Between gods and men, Prometheus went with us, and he ruined Zeus's plan to destroy mankind, and for that he was given a thunderbolt. True! Hey, that seems unfair.
Man, does he rant. Look, I get that Snyder wanted to bring up a bunch of philosophical concepts and try to discuss them, but not only does he hold this conversation poorly, he also sacrifices the integrity of the characters in order to fit his narrative. Some apologists have been theorizing that this Lex is actually the son of the real Lex, despite the fact that the movie's ending clearly points that this is Lex by giving him his iconic bald head. Plus, even if that theory were true, it doesn't change anything. This is our Lex Luthor. And what exactly is Lex's motivation in this movie? Why does he do anything? Does he hate Superman?
I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin.
Is he jealous?
The bittersweet pain among men is having knowledge with no power, because that is paradoxical, and,
Does he fear him?
They need to see the fraud you are. With their eyes. The blood on your hands.
Does he want to control him?
There we go. And now God bends to my will.
All Lex does in this movie is rant and do weird and pointless shit. And then he manages to get two idiots to punch each other in the face. You think I'm exaggerating? Look, let's go over Lex's plot real quick. Lex gives experimental and therefore suspicious weaponry to mercenaries, who he had joined the ranks of some random African rebels, but hopes that Lois Lane will go to interview them and then get captured because she was with CIA Special Agent Jimmy Olsen, so Superman would show up just as the Mercs killed the rebels. Also, Superman would get blamed for killing a bunch of terrorists, and the government would ask him to attend a hearing to explain himself, so Lex could have a disgruntled Wayne employee with an irrational hate for Superman blow up at the hearing, needlessly killing his Asian sidekick as well as a senator who was onto him purely because he stupidly created a loose end. Also, Superman would get blamed for even more deaths via conventional weaponry, and then the government would be so anti-Superman that they just give Lex Zod's ship so he can make a gray Hulk out of Zod's corpse that he couldn't control, whilst also trying to instigate a fight between Batman and Superman and then unleashing that uncontrollable monster regardless of the fight's outcome to hopefully kill Superman because...
But Genki, didn't you see that deleted scene on YouTube? He was talking to Steppenwolf. That's gonna be the Justice League movie's villain.
Okay, that doesn't explain things though. I mean, sure, we know why Lex is ranting later about the universe knowing that Superman is dead, but that explains nothing else. How long have they been talking to each other? Did this guy come to him way back and say, "Kill Superman"? Are they working together, or is Lex working for him? Is Lex working out of fear or personal gain? Why does he want aliens to take over the world after all the rants he gave about demons coming from the sky? This scene answers fuck all, and we still don't understand Lex's overly complicated and convoluted plan. Yeah, they might explain things in the Justice League movie, but that just makes this whole film even more frustrating. We just had a villain whose master plan has gone on completely unexplained. Just because you're building a film universe doesn't mean you can just jerk an audience around for an entire movie and not give them a reason for anything that just happened. And while we're on the subject of wasting time, let's talk about Lois fucking Lane. The whole point of Lois being in this movie is to explain things to the audience, but she isn't actually needed for any of that. This is her story in the movie. Lois goes to Africa to interview a terrorist and then has to get saved by Superman. She finds an experimental bullet in her journal from the firefight and goes on an investigation to figure out why mercenaries got these bullets. Now, we all fucking know it's Lex, but why would Lex leave such incriminating evidence at the scene of his crime? Okay, fine, burned bodies equals Superman's heat vision. I guess nobody's gonna inspect the bodies to find bullet holes, but they didn't look on the ground? Did the mercenaries sweep up the fucking desert sands before they left? Anyone should have been able to find those bullets. And you know, Superman could have put the government's mind at ease by actually talking to someone about what happened, or maybe they would have thought Superman was innocent if he hadn't killed the fucking terrorist leader and had him testify. Anyway, so Lois starts hounding the government guy from the first movie about the bullets to tell her where the bullets are from. Eventually, he tells her it's Lex. Then the Capitol blows up and Lois goes to investigate the bomber's house, where she discovers that the guy bought fresh groceries, meaning he didn't mean to blow up.
He didn't know he was gonna die. He just bought groceries.
Then she realizes that the bomb was hidden in lead.
The inside of the chair was lined with lead. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't see it.
Wait, hold on. When was it ever established that this Superman couldn't see through lead? No, I'm serious. I don't remember that ever being mentioned in Man of Steel. How did you come to this conclusion? Why didn't the cops figure out the groceries thing? This scene was unnecessary, and if anything, it probably should have been Batman investigating, creating doubt within himself as to whether or not Superman is actually bad. That could have made Batman's later change of heart a little more logical. So anyway, Lex snatches up Lois, tells her he knows that she was investigating him.
And you know something about LexCorp metals, don't you, Miss Lane?
I've proven what you've done.
And then pushes her off a rooftop so Superman can save her. That's it. That is what her entire investigation culminates with. All this shit with her was just so she could get pushed off a fucking building. There was no point to the investigation. If they needed to tell us that Lex was behind everything, they already did by showing the scenes with Lex. Or maybe it was the fact that Batman was also investigating the same mercenary and Lex, so we already know that they were connected.
This is every call made from the Russians' phone. 2 mentions of business with the white Portuguese, and it's continually transmitting blacked out data to the personal residence of Alexander Luthor.
It was a needless waste of time. And the movie is just full of messy shit like this. So that's what I think we need to talk about next. Strap yourselves in, folks. This is gonna be a doozy.